There we go. I was going to say, that doesn't look right. That's because I was on a different OBS scheme. There we are. I was going to say, I can't see anything. Some of my stuff is missing. Now I remember why. I was switching it because it was coming up with a missing media message, and I was just getting rid of all this old junk that I should have done way earlier and didn't. Okay, so let's get Let's View running real quick. Sit there, start broadcast, give that a minute, and make sure we're mirroring correctly. We are. Sweet. Let's jump into here, and then let's go to... Oh, I need to go to here. I completely lost my brain for a minute. Then I remembered what I was doing. We need that. Perfect. Okay, and then I just have to wait. Okay, that's going. So the first one should be live. It is, so we'll activate that. Oh, and I do have to do this. Hold on. I forgot I have to hit my 50 enter buttons. I'm waiting for, I have a new desk coming, which really shouldn't affect anything with this. But I finally got a powered standing desk. I got a flexi spot. I'm just waiting for the pricing to go on sale, and sure enough, around the holidays they had a sale, and it's coming. Probably, I mean, just based on the way they're shipping it in pieces, so it may not be here for the next stream, but it shouldn't be too far after. And I am looking forward to that. And so I've got my keyboard. I might have to do a little bit of a laptop stand or something, but I don't know. I might be okay. Did I activate both sources? Looks like, did I? Hold on. Did I do the second one? I don't know if I activated that one. Hold on. Oh yeah, there it is. Okay, I did. Now I don't know if I did. Now I did. All right, so, okay. Let's close that. Let's do I have to hit this button. And I just realized my sound wasn't, oh wait, there, now the right sound is on. So I should be able to hear my testing. So let's do a test one. Test. Why didn't I hear anything? Hold on. Let me make sure. Yeah, why didn't I? Oh, wait, hold on. I didn't enable it. Hold on, sorry. Dashboard. No, I must not. I thought I clicked the button. I didn't click. Hey, there it is. There's the beep. I thought I didn't hear the beep because I had, discard. There we are. And we need to select the dashboard for social stream. Dashboard. Hit OK. Come back. Let's run that test one more time because I didn't have it up there. TEST1, space 1. Let's make sure. Yes, that one's good. We close this window. Thank you very much. And then we do the test here. This will be number 2, TEST2. Yes, we're good there. We close this window. And finally, TEST3. And that's Twitch. And we are good. So all the channels are running. Let me move my boxes over here, the docked boxes for each of the chats. Let's make sure we're on the participant list so I can see if anybody is there. And I'm sure I'll have to block this at some point. Okay, everything else is working. So we run our intro. I already did Let's View. So we should come up correctly in a second. Let's give this a minute here. I'm gonna drink of water while I'm thinking about it. Hold on. Look at that. Everything came up correctly. Sensational. Oh, I think on the next stream, the hand model I was talking about, it came in. I haven't even unboxed it yet. I really want to look at it. But I think on the next one, I'll put some light to it and I will sketch from it. I'll take a picture of it so you can see it, and I'll probably sketch from it, just like a hand study, which I'm actually kind of excited to do. But let's stick with Two-Face here. You know, I had a thought about this, which was to go against my normal inclination isn't to go too crazy with the face, but I might actually do that in this case. I might go a little nuts with it and see how it looks. I can always, change it if I don't like it. So let's see here. What do? We have the mouth here. Just have the sneer coming down, and then This is the part, so the mouth would come out here. And then let's just go ahead and have this come down. The lip, and then the lip would come out like this and be all scarred up looking and, you know, funky and weird, and come down. And then, you know, we'll do our teeth here, which pretty simple as far as that goes. You know, that side's going to be okay, so we don't have to do too much there. Just, you know, basic tooth shape. Stuff here, a line there. Again, you don't have to go too crazy. And then here is where we're going to have the gum line. So if we assume that that's the teeth, then we're going to have the gums here so that you can see them. We'll have to kind of figure the gums out here, so hold on a minute. I assume the gum line is kind of about here. Gum line comes out. So then the teeth would be coming like this. The teeth shouldn't look very good because they were hit with acid, so there would be tooth damage as well. I mean, you might even have like exposed roots and stuff like that. I don't know enough about, you know, I've never seen teeth damaged by acid, but I assume that there's some damage going on there. And then this will be where the lip kind of pulls around. What is that? Is that my own? Oh, yeah. Okay. Right, and then, you know, and I'm not necessarily doing even the correct teeth, like the incisor. What? Hold on, 1, 2. The incisor second one. So actually, no, that's wrong. The incisor would be, depending on the size of the teeth. Hold on a minute. Let me just do this. The central teeth, the center teeth would be here. Figure one of them's going to come up like they're pretty wide generally. So actually, the incisor would be here. That would be the incisor, based on, you know. And then a tooth behind Hong. No, oh no, I'm sorry, it isn't. The incisor is not the second tooth. I just literally put my finger in my mouth to feel my teeth. That's right. So this is kind of another smaller tooth, and then the incisor is the third tooth. So that would be a little sharper, and you start getting into the molars. So we can just kind of form that down. And again, they would be discolored and everything. So certainly that'll be a factor in it, and we'll just do that. But you definitely see more of the teeth, you know, now, you know, even like the roots exposed, because the acid probably would have pulled some of that flesh away. So you would assume you'll have some gaps here. One of my teeth has a gap where you can see some of the roots, so it doesn't even take acid, trust me. So if you got hit with acid, you're going to be seeing it. And there would be permanent. There would be permanent. Yeah, there sure would be. There would be permanent scarring on the actual lip too, so the lip would kind of be inflamed and weird looking and kind of come down and then join up down here somewhere, and then it would come up and be kind of normal, more normal, or the standard way a lip would look. Come in here. There would be a lower lip, but it wouldn't be very much on this side. Pretty, you know, on the relatively thin side till it meets up here. And then gets all scraped and scrapped up. And then you want to have something like that. But again, you know, I'm just looking and thinking about it, right? So, like this is all going to have to be kind of like rough and gouged and everything and just coming off. Something like that. Let me just drop this out for a minute. Yeah, something like that. Although looking at it, you know what? I'm kind of try something here. Just curious about something. Duplicate that, move that up here. No, up there. Right, and then if I come over this, I just want to see something. Because I was watching this video, and there was a guy on there who was an artist who was talking about, you know, that often we get caught up in the idea of realism when sometimes, you know, something that's unreal is actually better. So I started thinking, well, am I constraining myself with not making the eye more insane looking? You know, so I'm gonna see. I mean, I don't know that I want to go crazy with it though. It's just not my impulse. But let's just see if we put like a big eye here. Circle it. Bring it like that. I mean, that's not actually all that unrealistic for the size that it might be. So if we were to do the eye like this, might as well just clear that out because that's basically useless now. All right, so if we have it where the eye where the eye socket essentially forms around this and like grooves down into the actual face. See, this could actually look really good. I don't know. I've never really done it this way before, but that's, you know what? When you're doing sketches, that's the time to experiment. That's the time to try different things and see. I mean, it's not going to be radically different than what it looked like before, but I'm making the eye a lot bigger on this side than I am on the other one to see what it'll look like. And if I gouge it, you know, and I have these lines coming off. And then over here, there's going to be a point where the eye kind of comes out of the socket. Maybe it'll be right there, a little bit there, and then the rest is going to be where it's out. And then here, the skin will still be scarred and it'll be still messed up looking. But now what we're talking about is putting it into shadow, so it's kind of behind the eye. And just a warning, this will be a shorter stream than usual. I actually didn't know if I was going to be able to do a stream this week, which is fine because I did 2 last week, but the time worked out, but it is going to be shorter. So this is definitely going to be no more than 45 minutes. Probably going to be around 40 minutes when it's actually all said and done. But there's stuff that can get done in 40 minutes. And I kind of had this image on my mind. So I was like, you know, let me even if it's a quick one, to kind of work out this idea. See what it would be like to, again, to change the way the eye is and go with a more kind of exaggerated eye shape like this. And then, so the inside part, that would go behind the skin. This front part will be behind these ruined pieces of skin here as we go along. And then that's... So see, there's more of it revealed now than there was before, but I think that's going to work. I actually think that doesn't look as bad as I was afraid it would. I just always kind of... I never knew if the exaggerated burned eye would work for me. I really didn't know. And it might not. I mean, I'm not going to say that like this is a done deal. I still might not like this when I get to the end of it, but let's just play around with it and see where we end up, right? Again, this is just a sketch. This is not like a paid commission or anything. I don't really have to worry about whether it goes right or wrong. It's just a matter of... And I am going to try something different with this where I'm going to have a lot more shadow on the burned side. I may actually try to really simplify the lines on this end over here and keep it much more of the detail being on the burned side. I feel like that might be a good idea. You know, where it's kind of like... It's just going to be a lot more of the scarred tissue showing up in places. And that might work really well. We'll see. Again, we'll see. I'm not saying this as if I'm sure that this is the right decision. I'm not at all. But again, sketching is meant to be a place where you experiment. And I'm not gonna stick this harsh with the line in actuality, but I'm sticking with it now for the shadowing. I don't want to look at the other side. I only want to do the shadowing that makes sense for the burned, the scarred side, because probably over here it's going to turn out to be just lines like this. But there is going to be overlap, so I don't want it to be a clean line, so there probably will be something like that, where you'll see the scarring start. You know, and it should indicate some of the splashing of the acid, so there might be little pieces like here where the acid hit even on the nice side of the face. I don't want to lose that entirely, but I do want to have, you know, it should be half and half. It's Two-Face after all, but I don't want it to be a clean... like somebody took a marker and drew half and half on him either, because that's just... I've seen that. It's really silly. That's, like I said, that's the Joel Schumacher thing. Even though there's parts of the Schumacher stuff I like, that is not one of the things I like. Because that just looks really, really dumb. That harsh, clean line. It just doesn't... It does not look right. And I get that it's supposed to be over the top and operatic and theatrical, but still, there's a limit to stuff. To me, anyway. I just got a message from my co-host who is trying to appeal... Well, I shouldn't say it that way. Who took the route... he's talking about watching the David Harbour Hellboy movie, which I never finished. I started it, and I really didn't like where it was going. And the only reason I started it was because Mila Jovovich is in it, which I adore her. And he said, oh, we should watch the Hellboy with Mila in it. Mila's in it, which, don't get me wrong, that does work. That will work. But I was kind of looking around to see where you could, because I don't have in fact, I don't remember what service it's on. Because I was like, well, where is it even playing? Because, you know, I'm not going to subscribe to a service for that. And I don't even know if the rental is reasonable, because I don't want to pay much for that thing. Let me see. Let me see where it is. Yeah, I mean, it's the problem is, well, it is free on Fossum. I guess we could watch it on that, but I'm just sitting here going through this. It's a little tricky doing the streaming stuff with some of these services aren't that reliable, especially with ads, because we're going to be recording a commentary on it. The problem with the ad stuff is if the ad pops differently for him or at a different time and it's a different length ad or whatever, then it's going to throw the whole thing off. And I don't know whether I feel like for Hellboy 2019, do I want to make the effort of editing all that? Especially if I'm pretty sure I'm not going to like the movie anyway. So it's not in a lot of places. I think that movie's largely been forgotten, which is maybe an indicator of the quality. Not a big surprise. Why they did it so soon, I mean, I guess there is no such thing as so soon in movie terms, but I feel like the Ron Perlman stuff had that all the kind of people wanting that third one to happen with him had not cleared enough yet for there to be another one. And not to mention then when it came out, the reviews were not very kind to it, as I recall. Not a big surprise to me, because, you know, the trailer didn't look all that great. Harbour I don't really have a problem with. I mean, he's perfectly fine to play Hellboy. It's okay. I don't think any role is really one that can ever be recast. Again, though, I don't think so soon after all the Ron Perlman stuff, you know, because they still were trying. I think there was still some hope that movie was going to get made within a few years of that newer one coming out. And I think that to me, I'm like, hey, you guys probably should have waited a little bit longer and just let that all clear out and let people realize, hey, it ain't happening before you go with this other one. But, you know, they did what they did. Obviously, they thought there was money in it, and they made that new one. And yeah, I like I said, the way I recall it, it did not review very well. I'm kind of curious about something. Let me do a new layer here. If I do like something, just kind of trying to make the mouth more exaggerated, so I'm doing like shape work on it. Something like that. Or even, geez, should I go even bigger on it? But I don't, no, I mean, the mouth wouldn't, hold on, let me pull up an actual, you won't be able to see this. Let me pull up a quick, let me look at a human skull to get the teeth forms right. Let me just look really quick. Actually, I have a skull somewhere in here, don't I? Yeah, but the lighting won't be any right compared to if I could just look up a quick image of it. I do have a skull in here, but, trying to get the lighting on that correct, to hold it and draw is not going to work. I can just tell. And I could, but I'm on the iPad. I could pull up a virtual one on the iPad, take a picture, and airdrop it over. But let me just look here. I wonder if I can just. There's probably websites that just let you do like. Let me see. 3D human skull. Is there a website where you can just have a 3D human skull sitting there? Let's see. You know what? Let me try web-based 3D models. I'm sure there are websites. Here we go. Online 3D modeling. Here we go. Clara.io. Oh, never mind. This is they want to pay for it. Is there somebody who just has web-based 3D anatomy or art posing? Art poser. Let's see. Let me just see. Poser Play. What's this? Play.posersoftware.com. Sure. Wait, is this an AI thing? What? No, I just. Oh, jeez. Can I just give me one that free AI art tool? Open it. Here we go. Open it. It's free. Sure. Ah, perfect. All right. Can we do skeletal? Can we just do? Yeah. Here we. Blocky, mannequin, simplified skeleton. What I really need is just the skull, really. But That's female, male. Oh, the wrong thing. Pre-made scenes. That's objects, but I don't need objects. I don't need a prop. I just need... Ideally, I just use the head, but, you know. Okay, here's one. Male simplified skeleton. Got it, thanks. Can we just get the male simplified skeleton? Oh, I did that wrong. Hold on, sorry. Why is it not clearing this thing out? Realistic muscular male. Oh, I see. It's doing layers. Okay, hold on. How do I get rid of this guy? Oh yeah, it's got them all stacked up. Okay. Yeah, so we'll just delete. Delete. I didn't realize I kept opening new ones. I see how this works now. Delete. And let me delete this. Delete. Okay, now we just want a skeleton. There it is. Although, it doesn't have the teeth. I need the teeth. This is the problem. I mean, I know I'm sitting here going, well, how much do you expect from a free tool? And I don't disagree, but at the same time, I just need, let me try web-based 3D skull. So just a skull thing. Biodigital and Academy. Oh, wow, look at this. Oh, yeah, you know what? This would work. I think this is for medical anatomy, honestly. But it'll work. Hopefully it won't hammer the bit rate of anything. Oh, yeah. Ooh, that's creepy. Wow, look at that. Jeez. That's amazing. Wow. That is creepy. Hide. How do I just get rid of... I don't need the muscles. Male complete. Yeah, but I don't need male complete. Yeah, see, this is trying to do complete anatomy. Skull. Here, skull. I didn't realize it was a skull thing. This is going to end up taking... This is taking too much time. Okay, because I'm not actually doing anything. Let me just find a simplified one. I just want to really look at the teeth. It's fine. That's what I get for trying to look at anything complicated. Okay, so let's look... Oh, I guess I should have said human skull. I really don't need a large horned bull skull. Ah, perfect. All right, so we have... All right, now I've got it. Okay, so what I need to do... Got it. This is what I needed. The teeth would actually be going along this kind of axis. Yep. And then... So something like that. All right, so now let's get our teeth in. So, starting here, right? Center tooth like that. And then we have our kind of minor incisor. That's not the word for it. I know there's names for all these teeth. And we got the, wow, these dogs behind me are just going insane for some reason. That's a little bit, that shouldn't be as pointy. That should be more of a, like a molar type tooth. Okay, there we go. Right, okay. And we can just kind of do this just to get the basic shapes in. You're not going to really see the gums. Now here is where you're going to start seeing gums. So if the lip curls back there, same kind of main tooth here. But now we'll see the lip, or we'll see the gum there. And then we'll see the gum here. And then we'll have this one. And then we'll have this one. So basically, I'm not really changing much. Oh, what I should have done, moron, is I should have put another line like this to follow. There we go. That's what I was trying to follow, was right there. But I want to follow this line as far as where they end up. Actually, that back, well, I guess the roots are all kind of the same. Okay, so it wouldn't be that dramatic of a root. It would be something like this. Like that. And then one back there that goes behind. Something like that. And then same thing here where we have this tooth coming down. You don't really see that one because this gum line's a little bit further down. So bottom teeth are fairly uniform. It's interesting when you actually look at how teeth look. It's sort of weird how teeth are structured. They're a strange part of the human anatomy, that's for sure. I mean, they're, strange anyway, but all human anatomy is strange depending on how you're looking at it. But teeth in particular always are strange to me. And again, this is just kind of basic shaping. Doesn't mean this is permanently how it's going to look, but something like that. And then if I come up to here, and the lip part, just kind of, where is that line? Not that one, that one. Let's move that down a little bit. And here, we'll still follow this basic thing, but we'll kind of come up and go with this, come down and come back. Do that. All is one shape. Yep, okay. And then the lip stuff will just bend around it. But yeah, I think that's... Where is this? Not that. Take those off. Where are those teeth? Oh, there it is. Yeah, I think that's going to work better. It looks better. I mean, some of the animated stuff is like out here, which I don't want to go that crazy. That I think is too far. I'll get rid of that. Okay, now let's go back to here. And let's keep working on the actual skin here. This will come down like that. Again, we'll come up. Just put some shadow on. Not like that though. Shouldn't do that. There we go. Okay. So yeah, I don't. He wants to watch that Hellboy. I said, oh, I'll do it. I won't. There's very few movies I won't watch Mila in. That's for sure. Although I would not watch that Mrs. 45 movie again. That was too depressing. Way too depressing a movie to watch again. Good movie, don't get me wrong. And it was, but I would not choose to watch that again. It's just there's too much abuse in it for me. Not for me, thank you. Mila is an evil magic queen, having fun, yes. As an abused woman who's being beaten up and abused by the men around her, no, I'm okay with that. I don't need that, thank you. I mean, I'm okay without that is what I meant. I'm okay to skip that. So, not so much for me. Okay, that's going to get covered up by hair anyway. It's funny, I always feel like I run out of face room when I want to do Two-Face. Like I want there to be more to the face, and it's like I don't have the real estate for it, which is interesting. Because I feel like it's something that happens a lot when I've tried to draw them. I just don't have the space I want. So just kind of move that out. And this is going to go under the lip, but we can have it here. Just have it like it's pulling. Some of the skin should look like it's pulling because it's been forming scar tissue when he's been moving his mouth. So it's not going to be straight. It's going to be kind of like the skin is pulling at itself a little bit, or a lot. Especially here. So there should be some really weird angular movement to it. See where you can like feel like, because as the I can close this window. I don't need the window anymore. As the scar tissue is, he's not getting it addressed. It's going to be pulling at the skin. So there should be this sense that the skin under here is being kind of ripped at a little bit and forming permanent divots and scars and stuff like that. Alright, so you want this coming like that. And again, because the lip's going to be there, and there's going to be, especially with it stretched back, it should be something like this, where you see these kind of pull areas that look wrong because they should look wrong. It's a burned face. It's not the way the face is supposed to look because it was scarred. So it should look disturbing and off. The proportions shouldn't be clean, I guess is the best way to put it. You don't want it to not look like a face anymore. It shouldn't look like an alien, but necessarily. I'm sure some people have drawn... In fact, I know I've seen artwork where it makes him almost look like an alien because his face has been so destroyed by the acid. Which, look, again, I don't know what acid damage actually does to a face. Maybe it would be far more like that than what I'm doing. but that's not the version I want. Let's see, I want all that kind of pulling. That area, this here, actually looks pretty good with that. And of course, I'm going to go over this with the lip. It's not going to look like that. But that pulling effect is kind of what I want, where the mouth is literally being pulled, or looks like it had been pulled, like somebody put hooks in it and then pulled on it, because that's what it should look like. Because especially if he's not getting treated, which, going by the way it's always been, is he never got any help for it, at least not till later. But this is kind of closer to when it actually happens, so you want these imperfections that show you that it was never treated correctly. And then just little lines to kind of emphasize the scarring. We'll pit that more, put more like small divots here and there in places where the skin didn't quite fold correctly or doesn't fold correctly. Yeah. Yep, that's it. And then this would come out again because the eye socket. You would have some lines, and then you would have some darkness near the hairline coming in. Boy, I'll tell you, I won't specify anything, but one of the things, because I've been losing my hair for a very long time. Holy, we're at 31 minutes. Ow, time does fly. I've been losing my hair for years, and there was points where people told me, "Oh, you can get like hair replacement." I was watching a video earlier today by somebody who openly has said they're doing the hair replacement thing. It looks so bad, guys. I mean, it looks so bad. It's so obvious what it is. And look, I understand the impulse to not want to lose your hair. Believe me, I understand that impulse. I'm not thrilled about it, but it looks so bad. I mean, it just looks like scar tissue with a weird fuzz on the top. And I just cannot imagine that's preferable, because it looks like, you see these women who get plastic surgery and they get so much of it, and I'm sure at the time that they get it, and look, there's reasons to get plastic surgery. I don't want people to feel, if they want to feel comfortable in their body, they should. That's not what I'm getting at. But you see it later when they have a lot of work done, it can't hold up. And you either have to just keep getting work done, and there's even a limit to that. Even if you keep getting work and keep getting work, age will eventually reveal what's going on, especially if you have a lot of it done. You can just tell. Little stuff here and there, getting rid of a scar or a mole or something like that. Yeah, okay. Do whatever people should be able to do what they want to do. I'm not trying to say it should be illegal or you shouldn't be able to get something. Fine. You want to do that stuff, do it. But when they go so crazy with it and do so much and keep doing it, or do it in areas that simply, age comes for everybody. The great equalizer is, age as a byproduct of your demise. It's just the way life is. Again, I'm not saying you have to be happy about it. It's not a great thing to think about, but it is what it is. And so all these attempts to stave it off, when you do so much of it, it just looks, it's hard not to see it. It's very hard not to see it. And I don't think, and that's what I was looking at these hair plugs this individual got. I'm just sitting there going, oh man, I don't think that's going to look the way you think it's. I mean, obviously when they do the promotion for it and posters or brochures, I should say, not posters. I don't know if I've ever seen posters for hair replacement. Probably are somewhere. But when you see it, it's always the optimal scenario. Perfect lighting and, enhancing the work. Let's put it like that. But then when you see it in person, I have yet to see it. Let's put it this way. The best version of it would be that I couldn't tell that I saw it. And maybe those versions exist. Maybe those people are out there. But I see a lot of it, and I can see it. And that can't possibly be what they want. I just don't think I don't think it works the way people think it will. It's a shame. I understand the impulse, completely understand the impulse of it. I really do. But, it does not generally look good. Where are the teeth here? All right, what we need to do is we do need to shape these teeth because they shouldn't be like that. So let's just shape these out a little bit. Actually, I'll go over them. That's a better idea. Let's go another layer. And let's just do the teeth correctly and actually shape these out a little bit where they actually come up. That one comes up. Do that. We can do the top. The top gum is fine. Don't need it here. Let's do these bottom teeth. Have them come through. And then like that. Okay. Do that. And yeah, we can get that one. That's fine. Okay. And then I can just go ahead and... Wait, what is this? What are you? Oh, layer empty. I guess you're nothing. Don't need those lines anymore. That's fine. Where are... Oh, I'm going to have to get rid of the other side of the teeth. Whoops, that's not an eraser. There we go. Right up to there. That's fine. Better? Oh yeah, those teeth do look better. Those look better. Okay. Except, like I said, I'm gonna have to rot some of this stuff out just so it's clear. So I'll damage these teeth, put more pitting in them and stuff like that so that they look bad. We'll do that. And then let's go back to the skin. We don't need that anymore. That's the lip. That's the inner lip. Or the inner lip. Where are we time-wise? Actually, you know what? I'm going to wrap it up here. Because like I said, I knew this was going to be a shorter stream. And my eyes are bothering me today. It's like I've been looking at computer screens too much. And maybe I have. But my eyes are really starting to... But you know what? We got a lot done. Because this is good. I am going to do this version of it. As opposed to my original idea for the eye. So on this one, I am going to go ahead and stick with what I've got here. Even though I didn't think I'd like the larger eye, I kind of now looking at it do like it. So, but that skin's a good start. So we'll build on that. But I think next time I am going to use that hand model, which I'm going to do after I stop this. I'm going to go unwrap that thing and take a look at it because I'm really excited to see it because it's just a really neat hand model thing. So, yeah, like I said, sorry, it's a bit of 40 minutes. Still, it's not a bad stream. It's just they don't all have to be long streams. And I've done a bunch of streams lately, or I did the two last week. So there's streams there. So I'm not going to worry too much about it. Let's switch to here. And where was I going from that? Oh, so anyway, yeah, a little shorter stream today. But I think I'm going to keep going with the bigger eye, and we'll see where the skin goes from there, and kind of work it out. But I like the bigger eye doesn't bother me. See, that's one of the things is I think I was always resistant to it without ever actually trying it. And now I've got it there and it actually looks okay. So I'm going to keep going with that version of it. But I do think the next stream I'm just going to use that hand model because I really want to do some hand studies because this thing is really detailed. I'll get a picture of it so that you'll be able to see it, what it is. But it's also highly posable. And that's just something that's, I've always had to look at my own hand, which is just not great because I'm trying to draw. And especially I can't do my right hand because I draw with my right hand. So I'd have to take a picture of my left hand, try to reverse it, light it correct. It's just a mess. Whereas I can just have this thing sitting in front of me, light it with like small lights because I have some floating around here and see how it goes. So I'm actually kind of excited for that. But on that note, everybody, we're in a new year, so I hope your 2026 is off to a good start. And yeah, as I always say, if there is a creator that you enjoy in terms of their output, whatever form that may take the moment or two to support them in some way. I'm not talking about me. I'm talking about people who are trying to make a living at being creative, whether that's being a YouTube content creator or a visual artist or a musician or whatever. I've actually got my Bandcamp wish list in process to get some music on Friday. Not because it's Bandcamp Friday, just because I generally purchase my music on Fridays. That way during the week I'm kind of stacking things up. But take the time to support an artist or creator that you enjoy because it's not easy to make a living at being creative. It's very tough for most people. Unless they're exceptionally lucky, it is very difficult to do it. So if there is a creator that you like, and that does not have to take the form of money, does not always have to be monetary. If you can do that, that's great. If you can do all of the options I'm going to list at once, that's fantastic. Do it. You don't have to limit yourself to one or the other. But I always start with saying that it doesn't have to be about money because not everybody has disposable income. A lot of people are barely getting by. Things are getting more expensive and everybody's working harder and often for less money or money that's more but not enough to cover other things going up. So we all, or most of us, if you're not in that situation, you're very lucky. And in fact, you should do as much as you can to support people. But if you can't donate money, then follow somebody's channel. Repost it somewhere. Send that person a note. Just a simple, doesn't have to be a novel, just a simple note saying, hey, you know what? I really like your work. I really appreciate what you do. Keep doing it. I'm looking forward to what you got coming up, because that might mean more to somebody who's struggling with whether they should keep doing what they're doing than even a donation would be. But if you can do them all, if you can donate, resubscribe, repost, and send a message, do them all if you can. That's great too. If you have that capability, do it. But it does not have to be money or nothing. The support of somebody is not necessarily just tied to money. It can also come from other means of support. So whatever method you can, do it. That's my kind of overall thing, is if there's a way for you to support a creator, do it. Even if you think it's not worth that much, meaning sending them a short note or a post or say liking something, that stuff all adds up for people. It's all reinforcement that somebody is paying attention, that their work has value, and that they should keep creating what they're creating. So all those things add up and they matter. So whatever you can do, take the time to do it, because you never know how important and how much it might mean to somebody. You might never know it. You might never see it, but you never know. You might get a thank you note from that person. And even if you don't necessarily see it right away, I promise you that in almost every case, I can't say every case because there's always exceptions to rules, but I would guess that in almost every case, 99 times out of 100, whatever you do is going to matter to that person. So take the time and do it. On that note, thank you for being here, and until the next stream, I appreciate you being here and stopping by, whether it's live or later, doesn't matter to me. Thanks for coming by and watching me babble on for a bit, and until next time, take care.